Well, good morning. Thank you for coming to the San Dimas Historical Society walking tour. I'm Dave Harbin. I'm a volunteer with the Historical Society. So I'd like to give you a little background of the Historical Society and what we're going to see today, and a little bit brief history of San Dimas. The Historical Society is an all-volunteer group. I've got over 200 members. We have a lot of volunteers that work in here weekly, working in the archives, our gift shop. It's a great organization. I'm glad I've been a part of it for over 30 years. We'll start our tour. If you guys have any questions or any comments, this is interactive, so please feel free to talk. So we'll continue. Get a good view of the Walker House from here. These picture posts, this is another thing that the Historical Society's done. So as we walk through town, we're going to see a lot of these, and it gives you a picture of what something looked like that may still be there or may not be anymore.
Okay.
This is the site of the first San Dimas Sheriff's, or LA County Sheriff's Department was here. In 1927 they opened a station here, and then that building was a small wood frame building, and it was replaced by this one in 1950. Okay, we're going to
use this one.
They do. We're going to continue on to the first house in San Dimas. So this was the first house built in San Dimas. This was built by the San Jose Ranch Company, who also built the hotel. They were built at the same time, basically, but this was built for the land agent to live in. He and his family. It's Edward Marshall that lived here. Then later on, from 1895 until 1908, Genevieve and Harry Walker lived here. And of course, Genevieve is real important to San Dimas history because she was really the first historian. She kept vital records of what was going on in town. She took a lot of pictures, and she also did oral interviews with a lot of the old-timers at that time, in the 20s and 30s. She recognized that those people were disappearing, so she went out and did oral interviews. So important. After 1908, Harry and Genevieve moved up to the South Hills off of Walnut Avenue and built a house up there. The San Dimas, well, it's a fire station. So originally, 1927, this was built, and it was the San Jose division of the Los Angeles County Forestry Department. And there was a wood frame building here. From this location, they had to serve all the way to the National Forest on the north, down to well, it'd be like the Whittier Hills down south. Then going west, it would go over to Duarte, and then to the LA County line to the east. Then in 1937, this was built, and it became then the LA County Fire Department. And this is the only WPA project in San Dimas, built during the Depression, and there's a plaque on the building. Okay, this is an important part of San Dimas history here. May not look like much, but this building right here was at one time the office for the R.M. Teague Nursery. San Dimas Nursery was also known as. Mr. Teague was a part of a large family that moved to the area that were very involved in citrus. And Bob, the youngest son, then he decided in 1889 to open a nursery. Citrus nursery. So he basically owned this whole block. He lined it with all these palm trees clear around, and then he had a whole facility here, lattice rooms where they could do plantings. They had barns for horses and wagons. They had a water tower. Bob Teague, his nursery actually became the largest citrus nursery in the world. And sometimes they planted and shipped more than 300,000 trees in a year. So his business was one of the biggest early businesses in San Dimas. And his motto was, "My trees grow and are true to name." All right, this is another structure from the Teague era. It was their garage. And Bob was an enthusiast of automobiles, one of the early ones. So he had one of the first automobiles in San Dimas, and actually in this part of the county. And so this is where he kept his car. Had a 1903 curved dash Oldsmobile. So if you can picture the house, this kind of block, it's cement block, but it's made to look like rock. Picture of their house, which was right across the street there. And then you can see in the background is the office that we walked by on First Street. So this was shortly after the house was built, which was around 1902, 1901. And they've already planted the palm trees out there, so they're just little babies. So as Bob Teague's nursery grew and became more successful, he found a need for a place where he could bring his customers and show him his product, or show them his product. So before that, he would just take them out through the groves, you know, and show them the plantings, what kind of trees, and they could select that way. But later on, then he built, where this building is, JB building across the street, he built a facade with lattice work in the back, and that's where he kept all his stock, so he could show it to potential customers. It was a place they could come, one stop, take a look around and select what they wanted. So that was there until, oh gosh, the early 1980s, I would say, and then finally they tore it down and put this building up. But the architecture of the archway across the driveway is very similar to the arch on the facade that was out front. This shows a picture of the intersections, Bonita Avenue and San Dimas Avenue here, about 1958. So there was gas stations on both north corners, and of course you can't really see the Walker House. It's covered by all these trees. But the gas station, the Chevron station, was started by one of the family members, Jack Crothers. In the 1930s, he opened that, and that's because they owned that whole block. It was all orange groves up to some point, but Jack built his gas station, and it's still a Chevron station, although the family doesn't own it anymore. I want to show you the side of the San Dimas Marmalade House.
There you go.
So right across the street where the parking area is over there was this Marmalade House. And this was a place where they could bring all the leftover fruit, the fruit that didn't make grade, anything that was maybe questionable whether it was spoiled or not. And they used that then to make a lot of different things like grasshopper poison and stuff like that. And that actually operated here from about 1919 till 1926. Eventually the smell from the rotten fruit that they just threw out behind the building became so bad, and there were so many complaints from the citizens that they finally moved it over to Ontario in '26. But it actually was quite a concern. I mean, they had as many as 50 women typically that worked there processing the fruit. And they also did make marmalade. It wasn't all byproducts.